My name is Jerry Jean-Baptiste. I am currently a first-year graduate student in the speech language pathology program. I graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh. I also went here for undergrad. I graduated this past May with my Bachelor of Science in Communication Sciences and Disorders with a minor in psychology. Right now in grad school, I'm not really involved due to time. There's no time for anything, but in undergrad, I was the president of NISHLA. I was also a part of JCAP. I was also part of the Student Association. I was also a tutor. And yeah, so, oh, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariel Sukram. I'm a double major in criminal justice and law and justice with a minor in gender and women's studies. I'm also a third-year student, and I'm involved in the Criminal Justice Club. I'm the president of the club. I'm also an office assistant with Student Support Services, and I'm also an intern with the University Police.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayla Chavez. I'm a third-year student. My major is history. I have a minor in gender and women's studies and political science. I'm an assistant at TRIO SSS, and I'm also a peer mentor.
Sorry, everyone. Hi, I'm Angelina. I'm a senior. My major is communications, but particularly with audio and radio production. I feel like I'm twice as involved. Oh gosh, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, I'm like twice as involved. I feel like I'm involved if like I put all of you guys combined. I'm SA treasurer for the current fiscal year. I'm a TA for public speaking. I see some of my kiddies here. Hello. I am also the vice president of Black Onyx. I am also a part of TRIO SSS. I'm part of EOP. I work with the Truth Racial Healing Circle. I do almost everything and anything that you could think of on campus. So if you have a question about it, I most likely will know. Oh, I also work at the info desk. So if you call at certain times during the day, you probably will hear my voice. But it's more like a, hi, welcome to the Angel Call Center. How can I help you? So if you like recognize that voice, that's me. So hi, everyone.
And our panelists have done so many amazing things throughout their time here, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedules, because I know you all are so busy with everything that you do, and we really appreciate everything you do for us. So without further ado, our first question for you is, what was your experience like applying to college as a first-generation college student?
All right, I could start. So for me, I would say the experience was overwhelming and challenging. So as a first generation college student, I didn't really have, so it's me and my mom and my brother. And, my mother does not really know how, the application process work, when applying to college. We came from Haiti in 2010. So, there's not much my mother knows in regards to that. So when I was applying for college, I had to figure it out on my own. In my high school, the high school I went to, we didn't really have a guidance counselor that was supportive. So I feel like, me being a first generation college student and not really going to a high school that I felt like I had support, like the odds was definitely against me of being here and going to a four-year college. But I think also too, thinking about the experience, I definitely missed out on a lot of opportunities that I could have got if I had someone to push me and tell me where to go or what to do. Not to say that I'm not grateful for being at SUNY Plattsburgh, but there's a lot of opportunities that I definitely missed and could have gotten that I did not, because I didn't have that, person that, say, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you should expect. And also in regards to the financial aid aspect, that was a nightmare for me because, just thinking about, oh, college is going to be expensive, how am I going to afford this? I had to really do a lot of research on my own and try to figure it out. FAFSA, filling it out, like I said, I didn't really have any help. So a lot of these things, a lot of these pressure, it was very overwhelming, but I knew that, coming to college was what I wanted. If I wasn't passionate about it, if I didn't want to, I would have gave up like 100%, but because it's something that I knew I wanted and I knew I wanted to do for my life and for my future, I persevered. And, despite the challenges, despite it was hard, I still, got through it and went through it. So.
And Jerry made an excellent point of, when you're the first in your family to go to college, there's so many unknowns or things that you don't even know that you don't know. And one thing
As a first generation student, my process of signing up for college was very challenging because I signed up during the COVID period and I didn't have a guidance counselor to help me. Everything was through Zoom, and my experience basically was me Googling, oh, how do I apply for FAFSA? How do I sign up for a SUNY school? It was challenging at times because I didn't know that I wanted to go away for school, so I applied for all CUNY schools, and then last minute I decided I wanted to go away for school, and my guidance counselor was not much of a help. So my process basically was me like going on YouTube, looking at videos, asking students that I know that are currently in college for help, but I didn't have like that main support to help me apply for college.
So when I applied for college, I applied as an independent student because I live with my grandmother. And so kind of going through that application process alone was super, super difficult to even qualify for state aid. And, you know, even the application process for state aid is, you couldn't figure it out. If you just read it yourself, you need some help. And unfortunately, those are some processes that I myself, you know, had to navigate alone because I was a first generation student. You know, so there was the FAFSA process, the getting into school, and then finding a school. You know, as a first generation student, you kind of see your family and you want to pursue that education and, you know, try and do better because that's what at least, you know, my mother and father encouraged me to do. And so when I did that, you know, and I was able to kind of finally get through the application process and get into school, it felt like a very big win because I felt like I had finally, you know, accomplished that barrier and done, you know, did something that my family wasn't able to do. And so I was the first one to do it.
My experience was completely different, particularly because I did have help. My aunt, she is a college grad. She has her master's actually in business administration from Duke. So her knowledge of college it helped me. But I think what was different was the ability that was, I guess, the difference in like time of when she went and when I went. So like definitely SATs went from like at that point where like SATs did not exist when she went to school. So it was just kind of like that difference in understanding when she went to school and when I went to school. Like realizing that like the SAT was like 2000 was like 2,400. It's no longer 2,400. It's 1,600 now. And trying to like I guess like going through that process was extremely difficult. In that fact is the simple fact that you have help, but because the help is so different in like aging, that is the difficulty in and of itself. Trying to explain to someone like, thank you, your help is your help is needed, your help is warranted, it's great, it's amazing, but it's just that the difference in like age and time was completely different. So that's my difficulty.
That's a great point. Yeah, and that conversion between not everybody knows what does this score mean.
Yeah.
Second question is, what challenges have you faced as a first-gen college student?
So the first one that comes to mind is definitely, I would say, during my first year, definitely lack of self-esteem. And what I mean by that is, I feel like in high school or throughout high school, I didn't really go through a high school that prepared me for college readiness to be, you know, go to the rigors of college. And I feel like when I entered college, it was just a whole new world for me. And having that, new world in front of me and also being under pressured was kind of hard. And it definitely sometimes take a stand on your self-esteem and kind of, okay, I have to get through this, I have to navigate through this, which sometimes is hard. Another thing I would definitely have to say is the financial aspect of it. We all mentioned just, how do I apply for, scholarships? How do I get opportunities to help me with my tuition? And that was challenging to figure out because I didn't really, like I said, have someone that, could tell me, oh, go through here, go through there. But I did find opportunities on campus and people to reach out to get, help through that experience. So yeah.
Navigating through college, my first semester as a first-gen student was pretty tough because I came into college not knowing how do I sign up for classes, what type of classes do I take to fulfill my requirements for graduation. But I would definitely say one thing that I did was be more open and connect with different clubs in my major and also get close to my advisor. And I felt like doing those opportunities helped me learn more about, the process of graduating, the process of joining different clubs and the benefits of it and how it's gonna help me throughout my college experience. And I would definitely say the support of family, friends, and advisors, professors, that's one thing that helped me throughout my college experience and when it comes to being as active as I am on campus.
So my first semester of my first year, I think I was terrified. I came into a completely new place with new people. I knew no one. I was alone. And so, on that first day when you're unpacking, your clothes and everything and you're in your dorm, unless you know someone, you kind of sit there afterwards and you're like, oh, wow, like I did it. And so those first weeks navigating campus and doing all of that without, some prior knowledge of, someone else doing it, it really affected, navigating all of that. And I did it with the help of SSS, and I always attribute SSS to some of my best successes in college because they were able to help me navigate the campus. And I took a freshman year CLP class with Lauren, and that really helped me because I was able to, we did a scavenger hunt for every building on campus, and like that alone has helped me. I'm a junior now, so all of my years, because I know where every building is now. And so, those things, especially advisors, when they help you in those little ways, I don't think they always know how much of an impact they're making on the student. But, I would really say that SSS and those advisors that helped me really kind of gave me that head start my first semester.
I've actually been through this like twice. I originally started out at the University of Buffalo, and then I think a year or two later, I actually transferred to Plattsburgh. So like definitely understanding like who your community is. It was really hard to figure out who like the first gens were at UB, particularly because the school is like 30,000 kids to like one teacher. But like that. Thank you. But trying to, I guess, figure out like who was like first gen or just like who could I talk to about some of the issues that I was facing, particularly because I was scared. I'm like 17, 18 at this point, first time like being away from my family. I think the first time I came home, I think I literally like sat in my grandma's lap and I cried, and she was just like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "No, I'm like going through it." And she was like, okay. Like literally that was kind of like how that kind of went. But particularly when I came to Plattsburgh, big shout out to Satandra. Satandra actually over the summer into my transition over to Plattsburgh, emailed me and asked me about Trio SSS if I was actually interested. And originally I was like, okay. I was so nervous to email back with someone from Plattsburgh, but I was like, you know what? Screw it, let's hop on the train of, that take you anywhere. But I'm so glad that I was able to, speak with Cassandra and, meet with all the lovely people in Trio SSS, and they've been instrumental in like my development and growth here. So, and also meet like other like first gen students, because like, I apologize, I'm not in the Trio SSS office as much as I'd like to be, just because of my busy schedule, but like just knowing that at any point, at any time, I will always have that support is like really great to like know, so.
I love that. And at any time at the end too, if any of you are interested in getting affiliated with our office, if you just need, some of you talked about just needing that one person to listen to while you just gotta let it out. It's hard. And so we're here for you, and we'll give you more information about that after. The other thing I appreciate is you're spinning the challenges into the positives and the things that you've used, which goes into our third question. So if you feel like you've already answered that, that's cool. But our third question is, what supports have you had throughout your college experience to help you succeed?
Okay. So definitely the biggest support I definitely want to say is EOP. Who in here is in EOP? If you're not in EOP, where you at? EOP has been a biggest, AOP has helped me succeed throughout college, from academics to financial. I could go on and on. But the biggest aspect that I liked about AOP is that before you start college that fall semester, you actually come to a 4-year preparatory course. So that in July, it's a 4-week course that basically help you prepare for college. So when I got accepted that fall semester, that July before I started in August, I was here for 4 weeks, taking math class, English, and just getting me prepared to start, college. And I definitely felt like that helped me a lot, because once I started during that fall semester, I was ahead of the game, and I already know the stuff, and I was able to hit the ground running. Another aspect AOP helped me with was, help me with my scheduling and FAFSA. During that summer, we were able to kind of go through FAFSA and fill it out, which was very helpful for me because I was confused about the whole thing, and I had my advisor, my EOP advisor, to kind of help me go through each aspect of it and make sure that I was filling it out correctly. And another aspect was also my, academic advising, suggesting me which class I should take and helping me, start my 4-year plan to make sure I'm on a path to graduate in 4 years. And apart from that, EOP also helps out financially. There's a lot of financial burden that comes with, being from New York City, coming upstate. So that's another aspect that I really enjoyed. And I think, without EOP, I definitely would have not been as successful as I, was for undergrad. So, and I'm appreciative of it. So, yeah.
Throughout my college experience, I would definitely say Trio SSS is one of the main reasons why I'm so involved on campus and I'm actually doing really good in class. And I would say Lauren actually was a big help throughout my college experience, because there would be times where I need help with classes or looking for an internship, and I wouldn't know, how do I apply? What do I add on my resume? And I would always talk to an advisor in Trio SSS, which would help me apply for different jobs on campus, help me apply for different internships. And as a first-gen student, you want to have that main support that you can go to after class or when it's finals week or midterms week. And Trio SSS was always one of the main programs that was there for me when I needed help in college.
And do you want to plug what you did this summer for internship?
And actually this summer for my internship, with the help of Trio SSS, Lauren and Autumn, and Shatandra, I did an internship with the New York City Department of Probation, and now I'm doing an internship with the University Police.
And she got 2 offers for internships this summer.
Yeah, I did. I got one from NYPD and the New York City Department of Probation.
So, you kind of stole my line, but I was gonna say one of the biggest helps in college, Lauren, when you're in high school, no one ever really teaches you how to fill out a FAFSA form, or talk to financial aid, or, handle all of those super huge documents that you kind of wish you had an adult, an adult to your adult is what I like to say, help you with, and Lauren, she was definitely one of those people. We did our yearly battle with student financial aid.
We're working with that.
We always say, we always talk about that, and, but definitely having you have your advisor for your classes, but having an advisor at SSS is really kind of having a school-appointed friend. They're there for you, though, and they're really going to help you. And, every time I've come to Lauren, if problem big or small, she's always been there to help and make sure she can speak to whoever she needs to speak to on my behalf and, get anything, that she needs to get through done. And I'm always coming back with resounding results. So thank you very much, Lauren. I appreciate it.
When you all graduate, I'm just gonna be.
I think my biggest support definitely has been EOP, but also, do I have any comm students in here, communications students besides you? No? Maybe I need to take a class in communications. No, seriously, communication has literally, the communication department has been literally one of the biggest, my biggest support systems here on campus. When I couldn't figure out what major I wanted to do after computer science, I was like, damn, I really don't think I can do you for another 20, 30 years. Even though I love it, but I just was like, yeah, this is not for me. It wasn't until actually my conversation with Dr. Devine that he was kind of pointing me in the direction of audio and radio production. And because of that, I've met some wonderful people, Professor Ward, Dr. Isgro, Mr. Perrier, Timothy Bradford. Like, these are just some amazing people who definitely have been instrumental in like my success. Kirsten is the one who actually signed off on me studying abroad this past summer in South Korea. Aaron Perrier is the one who actually wrote my recommendation letter, I think like twice. James Ward is instrumental in making sure that I can graduate on time. So he's written one of too many overrides, but just like having that, again, like having that group of like support is really important, because without it, I think that as a college student, you will suffer and you will drown. College is huge for everybody. Not everybody has the opportunity to make it to college. So like having that support is amazing. So
what advice would you have for incoming first-gen college students today?
I'll start. I think some advice that I think I'd give to first-gen college students is like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I understand it's completely scary and it's like, troubling, but when you put yourself out there, you don't know what will come back at you. And I feel like that unknown, whether it be good or bad, is actually what put me in the position where I am now, where I am sitting on a panel with 3 amazing, lovely people, just putting myself out there to be like, okay, yes, I'm not a person who likes to live with regrets, but no, I'm not a person who likes to live with regrets, but I very much am always, if the opportunity comes and the door is knocking, I will open the door. Again, whether it be good or bad. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. It may seem scary, I promise, it will seem scary, but it is you putting your foot out that will lead you to so many different things in life, so.
For some of you, it may not be needed to be said, but you wouldn't believe how many people my freshman year forgot shower shoes. Remember your shower shoes. No, but jokes aside, try your best to get out there. That's coming from an anxious person. I don't like getting out there, but I've met some really cool people by just kind of talking to the person next to me in class. One of my best friends I met the first day in my Spanish class, and we've been friends up until now. Really meeting people in college is probably, the people you meet here are some of the best people you're gonna meet in your entire life. And, they say you're gonna take your college friends with you up until, later on in life. And, so those people that I've met, I really hope to keep those people, because that's probably the best part of college.
As a first generation student, I would say some advice that I would give to incoming students would be definitely, get yourself out there, attend different club meetings, get involved in campus, and I will also say definitely speak to your professors after class and just let them know who you are. So throughout class, they'll keep an extra eye on you, or make them know that, you're involved in class, and that will also, help benefit you if you ever go to their office hours. I would definitely say also speak to your advisors and don't be shy when it comes to making new friends, especially in class. You could just start off just by asking someone, for help or something in class. And I would definitely say just don't be shy, just be outgoing and just be involved on campus, and that's gonna help you a lot in your future.
All right, so before I answer this question, I do want to shout out my fellow SLP grad student friends that are here, because I know it takes a lot to be here today. Saran, Leah, Caitlin, Lauren, I appreciate y'all. Raise your hand so people can see. We're all going through the misery together, so I appreciate y'all. But no, so one thing I would say, one advice I would give for incoming first-gen students is to advocate for yourself. And you really have to be your biggest advocator, because if you do not advocate for yourself, no one will. Nobody knows what you're going through. Nobody can look at you and be like, oh, that person is not okay. They need help. People got a lot going on, and if you don't speak out for yourself, if you're drowning and you don't go and speak out for yourself, no one will, and you're just going to drown. So one of the things I would say is don't be afraid to seek out for help. Go to the financial aid office. Go to, there's a lot of different offices on campus, that's going to help you with your problem. And a lot of students, I realize, do not know the different services that this campus provides, which then leads them to, struggling when, the help is there. So, but the first thing you have to do is to ask for the help. You're not gonna get it if you don't ask for it. So definitely advocate is one of the biggest thing I would say, because once I started doing that for myself, freshman year, fall semester, I didn't really advocate, but once I started advocating, I started seeing results, and results were there. So that's a big takeaway. But everyone else kind of said it, make connections. You're here for 4 years, and the connections you make here will definitely help you out in the long terms. And don't stay in a bubble. Find different, professors, talk to them, and maybe they might, put you to someone else with someone else to get different internship opportunities or job opportunities, because those connections are helpful not only while you're in Plattsburgh, but when you graduate. So yeah.
And like I said before, we'll plug more resources for you at the end of this, but if you need anything, just come see us. We'll help. So our next, just so we have 2 more questions and then we'll open it up to you all to ask questions. So the next one is, in recognition of Black Solidarity Day, this workshop is a part of a social justice teach-in. Have any of your aspects of your identity played a role in your experience here at SUNY Plattsburgh? We don't have to go down the line, whoever feels comfortable sharing.
Being that this is Black Solidarity Day and I am Black, and I also am the vice president of Black Onyx, the Black Student Union. It's a lot of Black, I'm proud to be Black, you know what I'm saying? But I think that being who I am has definitely played a role in how I wouldn't say operate, but how I exist on campus and how I move and how I am and how I am being. I think that Jerry brought up a good point, is like advocating for yourself. I am sometimes not my biggest advocate, but when it is needed, I am my biggest advocate. I will shout at you and I will yell and I will hunt you down if need be. And I think that that is also like a big part of like my identity and who I am. And so yeah, she'll get like quiet Angelina, who will be like, "Hi, what's up? How you doing? You all right?" Or you'll get like really like upbeat, like hype, like like that's just who I am. And I think that being here at SUNY Plattsburgh has definitely cultivated that and has made that completely better. And I guess I would say I'm honored to be here. I feel like I've become a better person being at SUNY Plattsburgh. And like we always say, you're a better person than you were the day before, a month before, a year before, 2 years before. And I've definitely have seen my own personal growth, and I'm just like so proud of myself and everything. So
I just want to bottle everything that you all are saying up, and I just really appreciate you all. Yeah. Anyone else feel comfortable sharing?
So definitely, as a Black male in a predominantly white institution, I definitely will have to say, there's definitely been, experiences and occurrence where, I've definitely been, nothing crazy, but definitely been treated like differently because of my color. And sometimes, it's not obvious, but I can definitely tell. And one of the things I definitely have to say a part of my identity is definitely kind of speaking out for myself. And definitely sometimes I realize people do different things because they're not educated and they just don't know. And I realize that. And I'm not the type of person to just someone do something and just automatically fire. But I like to take the time to see, okay, what do you know? And how can I fill in the gaps so you do know? And I think, just taking time to educate people and taking time to speak out on different, on different things that are important has definitely been something I've always been passionate about doing whenever I do have occurrences. But yeah, that's pretty much I would say.
It sounds like you take the high road
Yeah.
in a lot of those instances, but I imagine that's also exhausting when you're just trying to exist.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to be.
Yeah.
That's a lot, especially in a predominantly white community. You're doing that all the time. We good? Last question before I turn it over to you all. What has been your experience been like with a
Plattsburgh is nice. It's again, I'm from New York City. All my New York City kids, y'all know, we love the city. But you know, Plattsburgh is nice. It's small. Everybody know everybody. So it's just like you can get in trouble here. No, I've never gotten in trouble here, thank God. But like Plattsburgh is nice. I think that like there's beauty in almost everything. And while yes, Plattsburgh is small and you can't get around if you don't have a car or don't feel like walking, I feel like Plattsburgh has its own little perks, and I've grown to like Plattsburgh. Had you asked me like I think my first week here, you would have had a different story. But I've been here for almost 2 years now. Jesus. But yeah, Plattsburgh has its own little quirks. I like it.
I agree with you. Had you asked me my first week, like, what do you think of Plattsburgh? I probably would have told you that I hated it and I really wanted to go home. Now, obviously, almost 3 years later, my tune has changed. I love Plattsburgh. I always kind of look forward to coming back after long breaks or, when we go home for the summer. It's nice, after a while you get acclimated to a place and then you start to miss it, and all of the people you like are there, and all of the fun you have is there, and so that's of course where you want to be. And like you said, unfortunately we do have our lack of activities outside of campus, but somehow we still manage to make it work, and we still we have a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'd do without a McDonald's here.
Oh,
I'd
I
probably
know.
die. Ugh.
I would agree. Plattsburgh is much different from where I'm from because I'm also from New York City. But I would say my favorite part about Plattsburgh will be coming to school and the connections that I build that I know that I'm going to use down the line in my future careers.
Overall, my experience in the Plattsburgh community has been great. I mean, I definitely was here for undergrad for 4 years, and I decided to stay here for grad school, so that says a lot. But no, overall, I feel like, not everywhere is, the best. There's going to be flaws everywhere, but I think what's important is how you use that and how you make those flaws help you grow as a person, as an individual. I don't like to focus on the negatives and just let that be what it is, but just, how can I grow from that? But overall in Plattsburgh, I've definitely enjoyed the community. And who can go to Montreal on a weekend in 20 minutes? Like, 40 minutes, an hour? Like 40 minutes, yeah, around that. So, I definitely appreciate the area, and like also too, I'm from the city, so it is a different, scenery, and it is a different environment, and I like that, switch back and forth, going, to skyscrapers, high rise, and then now being in a, surrounded by trees. So I do like that, and I don't hate it. I actually appreciate it. So.
My grandma called Plattsburgh very flat. Like she's like it's very flat.
It is.
Which is ironic because there's so many mountains around here,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's funny because all three of you are from the city area, and I'm actually from upstate. I live about 35 minutes north of the capital region. So, like, I came here, and, there was less to do, but scenery-wise, I'm very used to this. So I'm used to flat.
So yeah, that's pretty good.
Right, so we'd like to open it up for you all for questions for our panelists.
Question?
Yeah. I'm wondering, why did you choose Plattsburgh State? Like, in practice? Great question. Why did they choose Plattsburgh State?
If we're being honest, I came here because I was following somebody. That sounds so okay. I'm gonna explain the story real quick in like 5 seconds. A friend of mine that I knew in high school, actually, God bless her soul, she said that she was transferring here, and I didn't want to go to a new school by myself. So I said, I'm going to Plattsburgh with you. And then I think a week after I got my acceptance letter, she literally texted me and said, yeah, so I'm going to the U.S. Army. I said, wow, okay. So it was pretty interesting, but I would not change Plattsburgh for anything in the world. I love Plattsburgh. I feel like, everybody's like, where do you go to school? Like, what SUNY do you go to? Plattsburgh. Where? Like, literally, it's like, where? Like, what is it? But again, I would not change Plattsburgh. I'm so grateful that, like, something led me towards Plattsburgh and has kept me here. Like Jerry said, he went here for 4 years of undergrad and is here for grad. Something must be doing well here. So I feel that like yeah, Plattsburgh is my home away from home, and I'm just so grateful. So yeah.
So I was graduating high school, looking for college in the COVID era. So I was home. And because, I didn't have those, people in my background to kind of encourage me to take college tours earlier, I was in that time of, period of time where we weren't really leaving our homes. So every college tour I did was online. And so, kind of going off of that, I applied to the schools that I felt, I would do well at, or the ones that I liked. And, most of them were acceptance. And then, I went through that process, and I really just kind of chose it by luck. I liked the river. The river looked really pretty. And after that, like, I saw it on the website. And after that, I was like, I showed my grandmother, and I was like, they have a really pretty river. And then next thing I knew, I was coming here.
For me, Plattsburgh was a last minute choice for me. I literally applied like the month before the semester started. My plan was to stay at home for school. I didn't want to go away for school. But then last minute, I started to think, and I'm like, maybe I should go away for school. And my mom is actually the one that Googled Plattsburgh. She Googled SUNY schools for criminal justice programs, and she came across Plattsburgh and sent it to me. And I'm like, I wasn't really too excited to go away. So she was basically the one that signed up for me, did the process. Then I started looking more into the criminal justice program, and it really grabbed my attention. And they had a lot of what I was looking for. And then I came to the open house. I fell in love with the campus, the faculty, the staff here, and then that's why I came to Plattsburgh.
I mostly came to Plattsburgh because it was the cheapest option, and basically, yeah, like it was just the cheapest option, and you can't go wrong with cheap. So.
Yeah. So, I'm listening to you guys' story. A lot of you are talking about getting support as a first-gen student through special program staff and the services we have available. And this is definitely amazing. When I was here in the 90s, we didn't quite have the same infrastructure for like support, accessing support, how you do it, where you find it. Just wondering what else SUNY Plattsburgh could be doing to support our first-gen students. Are there different areas that you think we can improve upon? And go.
I can start. I would definitely say making it more aware to all students about the different programs that Plattsburgh has, because I know a lot of students that don't even know what TRIO SSS is or what EOP is or a bunch of the different programs that are offered on campus. So I would definitely say finding different ways to make it known to students that you have these programs that you can go to for support.
I would say not only just to like freshmen, but I would also say like making sure that like your current students also know about these programs, because if the current students don't know, we're talking about like juniors and seniors, then it's just like they've been here for 3-4 years and have probably needed support and have not had the opportunity to get it because it's just like it's here, but they just don't know about it. So making sure not only our first year students know, but also our current students, making sure that we're able to keep them here, because I think that sophomore, junior-ish year is where sometimes a lot of schools will end up losing their students because they don't feel supported, they don't feel like they matter in some form or capacity. So letting them know that like you are here are some programs that we have, you are supported in any capacity is great. So.
I really have to agree with what both of them said. Really just letting your students know what programs are available. I can't tell you how many times last year and even this year I'm like, oh my God, that's a thing. So, really just making sure that the baseline things, yes, but those extra branches of help are really going to help you succeed in college. And without even knowing, those exist, you can't utilize them. And so, in agreement pretty much, we really just need to make sure that everyone's knowing of the extra resources available.
So everything they said. But yeah, I agree with everything they said because I think the baseline are important, and just having support and, you know, ensuring students do know, like you brought up a good point, that they know the services that are available to them, because a lot of students don't know it. And I think, you know, something is missing, something, you know, if they don't know it, then that means there was a breakdown somewhere, and we need to kind of figure out where those breakdowns are, so everybody here or every student that are first generation know, and that like not some knows and some does not know, so.
I was just gonna say, you guys mentioned how you had to sort of like assert yourself and like sort of stand up for yourself. I was just wondering what some tips were for people who can't do that.
Tips for kids.
Tips, the question was tips for, you all were kind of talking about advocating for yourself and doing that self-advocacy. And the person's looking for tips for people who either can't or maybe struggle with doing that.
I would always say find someone to back you. It helps a lot. It helps when you have someone that's like, I'm in your corner, I'm here for you, I'm here to help you. Because that first step is you know, it's hard, but no one says that you have to do it alone. That first step, you don't have to do it alone. So definitely having someone in your corner to be like, okay, well, you having trouble. Well, let's figure out how to do this, like together, right? Let's take that first step together. I will walk you like what is it? A duck? A duckling? Like a mother duck. I mean, like a mother walks her ducks or whatever, right? We'll walk together. Then at some point, I will leave you. But it is that first initial step that will actually push you to be like, you know what? Okay, this isn't as bad as I would like to think it is, or as it is presented to me. And then it makes it easier for you to raise your voice and like and for yourself. So you can start off small and be like, hey, like, no. Like, for example, I'm not calling anybody out. I recently had a teacher give me a 0 out of 25 for an exam. Won't call out names, but it wasn't, oh gosh, I should have seen my face when I saw that 0 out of 25. But it wasn't like, it was really hard for like me to like talk to the teacher, because the teacher seemed very unapproachable. So I was just like, man, how do I talk to this teacher about an exam that he doesn't answer emails, doesn't listen to the kids? Like these are things that you have to like navigate for yourself. My friend was just like, okay, well, let's sit down, let's draft up this email, or let's figure out how we can go to this teacher together. So there's not just one student, like it's two of us, you know what I'm saying? So like that definitely helped in like the way that I think that, you know, it is. So your friends are also very instrumental in like how you, I guess, how things are presented to you and like help you. They are also your own mother duck. So having a nice group of friends is also great. So make sure you have a nice group of friends.
I would definitely say, I'm so sorry, what was the question again?
Tips for advocacy.
Yes.
If you can't self-advocate.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I had something to say. I'm personally really bad at, you know, figuring out how I'm going to self-advocate for myself. And sometimes if I have to speak to a professor, you know, face to face, I know it may sound weird to some people, but I would literally like write down what I think I would want to say. And then like, you know, sometimes it may sound a little overboard, but possible responses I may get and like where I want to branch off in conversation for that, just to kind of like prepare myself. Like, okay, you're gonna have this conversation, you know your talking points. Because when I get nervous, I tend to kind of forget what I'm gonna say. I stutter, and then I'm like, and then, you know, it's just a mess. But going in, knowing what you're gonna say, and you kind of have it mapped out for yourself, to me is personally the best, you know, kind of tip I could give you.
I would definitely agree, you know, mapping out what you're gonna say before you know, go into this role of having to speak for yourself. But I would definitely say having a group of supportive friends, that would also help, because throughout college, you can meet a lot of people, but not everyone will support you when it comes to like your academics and your future. So I would definitely say having those friends that are there and they're supporting you academically, and having those advisors, professors that are there that's gonna support you.
The only tip I can think of is, I definitely agree with everything they said, but I would say the only thing with advocacy, the only thing I can think of is when you're advocating for something, whether it's, you know, for your grade or for an opportunity, just always think that the worst thing that can happen is a no, or the worst thing that can happen is, you know, you just don't get it. And I always like to think of like, you know, I like this quote, like the only chance you miss is the one you don't take. So when you're going in there, just, you know, have the mindset of the worst case scenario is a no, but like at least you took that chance. So it's just really just going there and doing it, and just know that you gave it your all. And if it did work out, great. If it didn't, you know, you got to keep going. So.
That's my line I share with my students all the time. The worst they can say is no. If you don't ask, it's automatically a no, right?
Yeah.
So it's worth a shot. So these are some links for other resources for first gen students if you are interested. We also have, if you would like to register for student support services, if you're not connected with us, you can apply through your My Plattsburgh. I think a big theme of this talk today was try to find that person for you that you can bounce things off of, you can vent to, you can come say, I need help. So we can be there. There's a ton of other offices that are here with us today that will also help you. And I really appreciate you all. Can we